Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of NASCAR Heat for Career Mode. I hope you're all having a great day today. We're going to go to Pocono here in the Truck Series as well as Bristol in both the Xfinity Series and the Cup Series. But first up we have the truck race here at Pocono here. Pocono Raceway, the Tricky Triangle. As you see, one of our rivals, Harrison Burton, in the Truck Series. But I decided to bring in a dirt car driver in this race for us here in Pocono, and that driver would be Brad Sweet for this race. I don't know a whole lot about dirt racing. I don't have a whole lot of interest, but I still know he's one of the dirt drivers, and I thought we would just throw him in there as that was just one of the names that came to my mind for this race here in Pocono. So we had Brad Sweet in the truck, and we started a little bit down the field. The truck was really tight in qualifying for Brad as he came through turns 1 and 2. I actually started at the back of the field, I should mention, after failing inspection, but he still had a rough qualifying effort in the first place due to the truck being really tight now as he was trying to maneuver his way through the field. But very unfortunately, Brad struggled to move his way through the field through the whole race here in Pocono now, as he would not get far at all. As you see him making a pass there, but we came straight to the final lap and he just had not gone far at all here in Pocono as he was passing the 20 truck down towards turns 3 for the final time here in Pocono. So it was definitely a very rough day for us in the Truck Series. Probably the roughest race we've had so far this season, unfortunately, as it comes through out of turns 3, coming through to the line here. Brad Sweet's going to cross the line just behind Clay Greenfield there to finish in P19. So definitely one of the worst races we've had this season in the Truck Series, but nothing to be really concerned about as we know what we're capable of here, as Matt Crafton would pick up the victory. But now we come through to the Xfinity Series to kick off the Bristol weekend, where we had subscriber Caleb Reed in the car there. As you see, Elliott Sadler and Josh Williams starting at the back of the field. Sadler had an unapproved body modification, and Williams there had a rear gear change. Now as we get underway here, Bristol, always a track where we know our Xfinity team can run pretty competitive. We always come here in the Cup Series expecting to battle for the victory. So that's the same expectation here tonight in Bristol. We want to win this race here in the Cup Series, but first we got this Xfinity race to focus on, where Caleb Reed was trying to move his way through on the bottom here, actually choosing that bottom lane on the first few laps here in Bristol, but he would actually continue to use this bottom lane and make it work surprisingly, as he came through out of turns 4 there, trying to make a pass on the 22 of Austin Cindric as he went down into turns 1, and sure enough, on the exit of the corner, he would make the pass happen as he was moving his way forwards here. Now as it came through a little bit later, passing Noah Gragson, but that would allow the door to be open for the 1 of Michael Annett. There was contact between them both as Caleb got loose on the exit of the corner. Then Annett slides into turns 1. They make contact, nearly in the wall goes Reed, but he would hang on to the position there as he came through now to the final moments of this race here in Bristol. He was now working on the 20, trying to clear Bell into turn 3 as he was approaching just this final lap here at Bristol Motor Speedway, and sure enough, Caleb Reed completes the pass there as the white flag would be in the air here at Bristol Motor Speedway, just behind Chase Briscoe as he came through out of turns 2 down the backstretch. Tyler Reddick out front, in front of Michael Annett there as we go down into turns 3. Caleb Reed close to Briscoe, but not going to be enough as it comes through to cross the line to finish in a solid P6 here as Tyler Reddick once again picks up the victory. Tyler Reddick this season has been very strong in the Xfinity Series as usual, but now it was time to come through to Bristol again for myself here in the Cup Series for our qualifying lap as we came through turns 1 and 2, always expecting a very strong performance and expecting to battle for the win here in Bristol. And as we come through turns 3 and turns 4, it was a solid qualifying lap. Could have been a little bit better, but we crossed the line there with a 15.682 and go P6 here for Bristol in qualifying. So a very solid effort, very confident with that. And on pole, we got Clint Boyer.
The Cup Series returns to the last great Coliseum for the Bass Pro Shops NRA Night Race. This half-mile concrete oval is famous for its bone-rattling hits and heart-stopping finishes. Who will come out on top tonight? It's time to find out.
Alright, thank you, Rick Gallen. We're ready to go green here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Clint Boyer started on pole. Well, not anymore. He's starting at the back after having an engine change. So now Denny Hamlin is promoted to P1, looking for what, win number 8 on the season, as Chase Elliott has to start at the back after failing pre-race inspection. So both Boyer and Elliott starting at the back of the field as we move up into P5 now as the green flag is out, and we are underway here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Denny Hamlin and Kevin Harvick lead this front row down into turns 1 here on this opening lap as we're going to try and get up the inside of Martin Truex Jr. there in the 19 as we exit turns 2. Hamlin off down into turn 3. We know how fast he has been this season here, just like last season. He I think had 9 wins last season in our career mode, and right now he's already at 7 this season. So in the last season and a half, Denny Hamlin has won over 15 races in the career mode. He's almost won like half of a season worth right now as we come through out of turns 4. Keselowski would be able to get ahead of me, but it wasn't until lap 12 when I would finally be able to battle back up the inside of Keselowski. Denny Hamlin at this point, he had checked out. He was driving away. He was already up the lap traffic, but I would slide in front of Keselowski there into turns 1, take over the 5th position as we now try to set our sights on Kevin Harvick. Sure enough, we come through on lap 15 already in stage 1 of 30. The laps fly by so quickly. We were now working on drivers like Kevin Harvick, Matt DiBenedetto, Martin Truex Jr., but we would kind of get stuck in behind Truex here. Now on lap 18, a few laps later, Harvick would get back in front of me as we came out of turns 2. The caution, though, comes up for the first time here today and at Bristol, which would allow us to close up to Denny Hamlin. But we would be getting ready to restart P6 here with Eric Jones on my inside now as the green flag would be back in the air, and already just 10 laps to go here in the first and opening stage. As I said, obviously the laps fly by so quickly at a track like Bristol. As we're right on that right side door of Eric Jones as we go down this backstretch. Kyle Busch at my left rear as we go down into turns 3, right on the back of the 19 of Martin Truex Jr. As usual, Joe Gibbs Racing Cars all up in the mix, as we're very well used to that now at this point this season as we came through now on lap 22 of the stage, now passing Martin Truex Jr. We were starting to move our way forwards, and we were able to make this inside lane actually work better than I was expecting here. We would also pass the 95 of Matt DiBenedetto, so we worked back up inside the top 5. We would run down Kyle Busch on lap 24. He would have gotten passed by his teammate of Eric Jones as we go down into turns 3. Now as we get a little bit loose, and we hit the apron, and just like that, we go spinning hit by Truex into the outside wall, and the caution is not going to come out actually until I throttle up, and now the caution comes out. We have 9 seconds of damage from that just little freak moment, but thankfully that does not mean we have to give up any laps, so we would be able to repair the car, and we would fall down to P33 with only a couple laps left here in stage 1. But just I made a mistake going into turn 3. The back end of the car kicked out a little bit, and unfortunately I was already low enough to where I just hit the apron and around I went. So we would spend the last couple laps here working our way forwards as quickly as we could. We would get inside the top 25 as we came through to start the final lap of the first stage. Denny Hamlin still out front as we would look to the outside of our rival Daniel Suarez. We would make a little bit of contact there as we go down this back stretch for the final time here in stage 1 through turns 3. Suarez sideways, but he hangs on to it, but we're going to come out of turns 4 to get P24 here in stage 1 instead of battling for a top 5 position like we should have been. So now we are starting in the same position for the second stage. No one was coming to the pit lane, so we're obviously way behind now as Denny Hamlin did pick up the stage victory. So definitely disappointed with how the whole last 5 laps or so of stage 1 went, but we would have to put our head down and get ready here as we would start the second stage. Hamlin and Jones lead the way into turns 1 as we're right behind the 37 of Chris Buescher, and we actually drove straight to the back of the 37 of Buescher there as we exit turns 2, and now we're getting the door there from the 41 of Suarez, and we're going to go 3 wide with him and Buescher, and we're trying to maneuver our way back forwards here on this far outside lane. We pass the 43 as well of Bubba Wallace as we go down into turns 1, right on the back there of the 00 of Landon Castle as we exit turns 2, just trying to move our way quickly as possible, and against all these slower cars, I felt like the higher lane was going to be the best way to do it, but clearly I'm just driving into everything right now as we hit the 6 of Newman as well on the exit of turn 4 as we start lap 3 of the second stage. There's again to the 00, then we hit the wall again as we exit turn 3, but thankfully each time I hit the wall there, it wasn't a very significant hit at all, so it didn't really do any damage. Now as I get into it again through turn 3, but at least we move our way now inside to the top 20 as we come through now, closing in on the back of the 24 of William Byron on lap 4, hitting lap 5 of the stage as we pass Jimmy Johnson and William Byron. Jimmy Johnson, 2 drivers to keep in mind, as well as Clint Boyer, who's up ahead after starting at the back. They are all in a position where they are fighting for dear life to make the playoffs right now, so we got to be really careful around those drivers, but we would pass Chase Elliott and Clint Boyer. Both of them started, like I said, at the back of the field. Now we've gone back past them, but it's pretty clear the 14 and the 9 have some speed, but we work our way back inside the top 10. We do have fresher tires, though. Do keep that in mind, and that really plays a role here, as tires are very important at a track like Bristol. We would pass our teammate Kurt Busch now on lap 10 of the second stage, and we were just continuing to move our way forward. We picked up a little bit of damage here and there from hitting the wall and stuff, but we passed Kevin Harvick now, right on the back of Kyle Busch here, up into P7 at this point. Denny Hamlin, though, still out front leading the way, but he actually wasn't just fully driving away from second place this time, so he at least had a little bit of competition as we came through out of turns 4, passing Kyle Busch. Then we would get past Joey Logano. We would also pass Martin Truex Jr., run down Eric Jones here for P3, and try to make the pass on him as we came out of turns 2. Sure enough, we would actually get to the outside wall there instead of being able to carry the momentum to pass the 20. So once again, some more damage on the right side of the car, but we battle back on the exit of turns 4 to actually get past him as we go down into turns 1. So up into P3 now as we came through to just 10 to go on the stage. Hamlin a little bit slower through lap traffic, allowing Keselowski to close in on him, and we were closing in on both of them. But the caution comes out now as we would have to come to the pit lane though here with about 10 to go or so in the second stage. I decided to repair the car, which was 4 seconds, which means we would give up about 5 positions. Now we will be restarting here, and P8 as the green flag is back out. The 47 of Ryan Preece actually leads the way to the green flag, so that inside lane should get held up pretty significantly late here in the second stage. Now as we exit turn 4, Bubba Wallace looks like they played the strategy game and kept him, or maybe just did 2 tires or something like that. Maybe he didn't even pit, but either way, he is now up inside the top 5 as we go through now with 6 laps to go here. But you can see Denny Hamlin long gone already. Now is the 88 of Alex Bowman, tries to chase him down, but everybody on that inside lane just so slow, stuck behind the 47 of Ryan Preece as we come through turns 3 and out of turns 4, sorry. Now right on the back there, Bubba Wallace, who get into a side-by-side battle with Bubba Wallace for the last few laps here of the second stage. Denny Hamlin leading the way by a long shot once again as we come through turns 3 and turns 4. Alex Bowman though in P2 looking pretty safe as we're going to be side-by-side still with Bubba on the exit of turns 4 at the white flag here in stage 2. Eric Jones there ready to pounce. Myself and the 43 maybe come together here as we're going to be side by side with Bubba Wallace as we go down into turn 3 on the final lap here in stage 2. Maybe a little bit of contact between himself and I as we exit turn 4, but we're going to be able to hang on to get P3 here in the second stage. So we have rallied our way back up inside the top 5 after that spin and wall hit in stage 1, and we get 8 points. Denny Hamlin though has swept the first 2 stages as we would not have to pit though to start the third stage. So to begin this third and final stage, the real question is now at this point, do we have the speed to contend with the 11 of Denny Hamlin? Now as the green flag is out, the third and final stage is underway here at Bristol Motor Speedway. I'm very confident we are faster than the 88 of Alex Bowman. I think we definitely have a second place car at the minimum, but I just don't know. You see the 11 already driving away here as we come through out of turn 4, so I just don't know. As fast as we always are at a track like Bristol, I think the 11 really has some extreme speed here today, and he very well could get win number 8 on the season here tonight at Bristol Motor Speedway. Denny Hamlin always a threat when it comes to Bristol. He was likely going to win the real Bristol race here a few weeks ago if he didn't choke and crash himself. Now as we come through turns 1 and 2, though, putting the pressure on the 88 of Alex Bowman. There are 2 wins for him on the season. Most recently, I think, was at Daytona in the night race for us. Now as we come through out of turns 4, we're going to carry that momentum on the outside, and now we're going to get nearly ahead of Alex Bowman, not quite clear of him as we go down into turns 1 and at turns 2. He's going to try and fight back there on the inside as we're actually pretty even down the backstretch into turns 3. Eric Jones there in 4th, ready to pounce too as we come through out of turns 4. This time we have the momentum as we come through on the lap 69. Nice at this point now as we go down into turns 1, clear of the 88 of Alex Bowman, and as we came through now a handful of laps later, lap 74, closing in a little bit on the back of Denny Hamlin as I had kind of found a rhythm, but then I actually fell out of that rhythm a little bit. We came through now on lap 78. We had found the lap traffic there, still about the same gap between myself and Hamlin, but as we continue to work through traffic, Hamlin had actually stretched the gap out, so he was pulling away at this point with just 39 laps to go as we came through turns 1 and turns 2 on the outside of Eric Almirola as we exit the corner heading down the back stretch, hoping that we can just close in on Hamlin now as we're going to get to the outside of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. on the exit of turns 4 now, and as we go down into turns 1 on lap 88. At this point now, the 17 of Stenhouse, who we had just lapped, actually goes spinning behind us. Thankfully, we had gotten ahead of him and he didn't crash and take us out, but we would have to come to the pit lane, and I decided we're going to do right side tires, and to my unfortunate just dumb stupidity, we made the wrong call, and the AI took 4 tires, we took 2. I immediately realized that, and I already knew that we've done this before at Bristol, and I thought that this time it was going to work, This time, obviously, did not work. 4 tires should have been the way to go. Hamlin would clear me down the backstretch on the restart as we went down into turns 3 as Chase Elliott would get to my inside. I already knew what we were in store for. We just threw away our chance at winning here in Bristol unless we get a very quick caution with 34 laps to go. And I know we're just going to fade through the field at this point as Elliott would actually get to the inside of Hamlin. I hit the wall there on the exit of the corner. Then I get to the side of Bubba Wallace. Thankfully, he would hold on to it. But Chase Elliott would go through to take the lead from Denny Hamlin now as we were fading very quickly through the field, now down to P6 on lap 95. Denny Hamlin, not the only one. I wasn't the only one falling down. Hamlin had fallen down now into P3, but I was just running terrible. We were in this battle now with William Byron for P8, and to my surprise, I would actually be able to pull away from William Byron in this group of cars, and then it would become down to myself and Kyle Busch now on lap 107, but Chase Elliott still leading the way as I was still struggling really hard on 2 tires, and I was just, this whole final run here, I'm just hoping for a caution. I was so disappointed in myself making that 2-tire call, but then lap traffic becomes a thing, and all of a sudden, we get back into the mix a little bit. We pass Bubba Wallace, and then we get close to the back of Brad Keselowski and Kyle Busch. We would pass Keselowski on the outside, and then get to the outside of Austin Dillon there as I clip the wall down into turns 1 with 10 laps to go, but we would also be able to get past the 3 car of Austin Dillon. We run down Kyle Busch as well with just 6 laps to go, looking like at this point that there's not going to be a caution, but the car was at least a little more competitive on the long run. We climb up to P4 now as we came to just 2 laps to go. The caution never happened. Chase Elliott would take the white flag as we're right on the back of our rival of Daniel Suarez. We're going to get to the inside of him and hope he does not try to mess us over here on the final lap in Bristol, but a pit mistake on my end. I made the wrong call to take 2 tires, should have taken 4, and unfortunately I gave away the team's chance at win number 3 on the season in the chance to sweep Bristol as we come through out of turns 4. We're still at least going to rally to a top 5 finish here after falling down after that restart. So we get P4. Chase Elliott wins here in Bristol. Not the first time he has won at this track in our career mode, at least now, as still extremely disappointed in my mistake there. Definitely could have been avoided, but I'm just stupid. Some drivers, though, at least happy with us, other than our rival of Daniel Suarez. I still do apologize to him. I don't want Suarez as a rival going into the playoffs, but it looks like that's going to be the situation after getting into him here again at Bristol. But as always, if you guys enjoyed this episode, you know what to do. 3 races left in the regular season here in the Cup Series, so it's going to come down to the wire, and we're about to see the updated playoff grid once again. We know how close it is in the Cup Series here for the playoff grid, as well as we actually got Eldora coming up here in the Truck Series. Very excited for that. But like I said, you guys are going to see the playoff grid here for the Cup Series. William Byron 9 points out, Suarez 39, Almirola 46 points out, and then Jimmy Johnson and Boyer barely in. It's going to get really interesting here in the final 3 races of the regular season. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, everybody.